The manager grabbed the waitress by her hair and dragged her into the middle of the restaurant. "You disobeyed me," he shouted. "So now everyone will see what happens when an employee forgets who is in charge." Then, in front of dozens of shocked customers, he cut a large piece of her hair with a pair of scissors. But just as the waitress lowered her head and fought back tears, the homeless man she had secretly fed every night slowly stood up from his corner table. And when he spoke, the entire restaurant went silent. Before we continue, if you believe kindness should never be punished, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Emma had worked at the Golden Crown restaurant for almost 3 years. She was 26, quiet, hardworking, and the kind of person who remembered what people liked to order after seeing them only once. She lived in a tiny apartment with her younger brother, Noah, who was still in school. Their parents had died years earlier, and Emma had become the person who held their little family together. Every morning, she went to work before sunrise. Every night, she came home exhausted. But she never complained. The Golden Crown was one of the most expensive restaurants in the city. Business owners, celebrities, politicians, and wealthy families came through its doors. And its manager, Richard Cole, was obsessed with appearances. "Customers pay for perfection," he often told his employees. "We don't serve problems. We serve luxury." Emma understood exactly what he meant. Never spill anything. Never argue with a customer. Never look tired. And most importantly, never bring attention to people who didn't belong. That last rule became important one rainy evening. Emma noticed an elderly homeless man standing outside the restaurant. He was soaked. His gray coat was torn, and his hands were trembling from the cold. He wasn't begging. He wasn't shouting. He simply stood beneath the restaurant's awning, staring through the glass at the warm dining room. Emma watched him for several seconds. Then she quietly walked into the kitchen. She took a bowl of hot soup, some bread, and a glass of water. When she returned, she placed the food in his hands. "Please," she whispered. "Eat before it gets cold." The old man looked at her. "You're going to get in trouble." Emma smiled. "Then I'll get in trouble." He slowly sat down on a bench near the entrance and began eating. From that night on, Emma secretly fed him whenever she could. She learned his name was Daniel. He never told her much about himself. Sometimes he would sit quietly for hours. Sometimes he would stare at the restaurant as if it reminded him of another life. One night, Emma asked, "Do you have family?" Daniel looked down. "I did." "What happened?" He gave a sad smile. "Life happened." She didn't ask again. But one thing always puzzled her. Daniel spoke like an educated man. His hands were rough, but his language was polished. He knew about business, investments, architecture, and even foreign countries. Yet every night, he returned to the same bench. Emma assumed he had simply fallen on hard times. She never imagined how wrong she was. A few weeks later, Richard noticed the food disappearing from the kitchen. He checked the security cameras. And there she was. Emma. Giving meals to Daniel. Richard called her into his office. "Who is that man?" "His name is Daniel." "I didn't ask his name." Emma swallowed. "He's hungry." Richard leaned back in his chair. "This is a luxury restaurant. Not a shelter." "I understand." "No, you don't." Emma looked at him. "Sir, the restaurant throws away more food every night than he could eat in a week." Richard's face hardened. "That isn't your decision." Emma lowered her eyes. "I'll stop bringing him food." "You'd better." But the next evening, Daniel appeared again. Emma couldn't ignore him. She packed some leftover bread and soup into a container and carried it outside. Unfortunately, Richard was watching. He stormed through the restaurant doors. "What did I tell you?" Emma froze. "Sir, You think you're some kind of hero? No. You're embarrassing this restaurant." Customers began turning their heads. Emma whispered, "I'm sorry." Richard pointed toward Daniel. "Get him away from here." Daniel slowly stood. "I'll leave." Emma stepped between them. "Please don't." Richard stared at her. "You're fired." The restaurant became silent. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She desperately needed the job. Noah's school fees were due. Their rent was due. She couldn't afford to lose her income. "Please," she whispered. "I need this job." Richard smiled coldly. "Then you should have followed instructions." Emma looked toward Daniel. He was watching her with an expression she couldn't understand. Then he quietly walked away into the rain. Emma went home that night crying. But the next morning, something unexpected happened. She received a phone call. "Is this Emma Carter?" "Yes. This is the Golden Crown. Mr. Cole wants you to come in." Emma was confused. When she arrived, Richard was waiting. "You're not fired." She stared at him. "Why?" Richard didn't answer. Instead, he handed her a photograph. It showed Daniel. But he wasn't wearing his torn coat. He was standing beside a luxury car. And next to him was a large building. Emma stared at the picture. "Who is he?" Richard's face had gone pale. "That," he said quietly, "is Daniel Harrison." Emma's heart skipped. She had heard that name before. Daniel Harrison was a legendary businessman who had built one of the largest hotel companies in the country. But the man in the picture had disappeared from public life almost 10 years earlier. "What is he doing here?" Richard's voice trembled. "I don't know." Before Emma could respond, the restaurant doors opened. Daniel walked in. But this time, he wasn't wearing his old coat. He wore a dark suit. 2 assistants followed him. The room became completely silent. Richard immediately rushed forward. "Mr. Harrison." Daniel didn't even look at him. His eyes went straight to Emma. "You fed me when everyone else looked away." Emma couldn't speak. Daniel turned toward the restaurant. "For 6 weeks, I came here dressed as a homeless man. Everyone stared. I wanted to see what kind of people worked here." Richard's face turned white. Daniel continued. "I visited 5 restaurants in this city." He looked around. "For refused me." He paused. "This was the only one where someone treated me like a human being." Emma's eyes filled with tears. Richard stepped forward. "Mr. Harrison, I apologize. I didn't know who you were." Daniel looked at him. "That is exactly the problem." Richard had nothing to say. Then Daniel revealed the reason for his secret visits. He was preparing to purchase a major hotel property and wanted to find a restaurant management team that truly understood hospitality. The Golden Crown had been one of the companies under consideration. But after watching the staff, Daniel had already made his decision. "I will not invest in a business that humiliates people for being poor." Richard's lips trembled. "Please, sir." Daniel turned away. Then he noticed something. Emma's hair. It was still uneven from the night Richard had cut it. Daniel looked at her. "He did that?" Emma lowered her head. "It was my fault." "No," Daniel said softly. "It was his choice." Richard immediately understood that his career was over. But Daniel wasn't finished. He turned to Emma. "I want you to manage the new restaurant division of my company." Emma stared at him. "Me? You showed more leadership with a bowl of soup than many executives show with millions of dollars. Emma began crying. But I don't know if I'm qualified. Daniel smiled. You already proved that you are. Months later, Emma's life looked completely different. She had a better apartment. Noah was able to continue his education. And Daniel opened a restaurant where one rule was written above the entrance. No one is invisible. Every evening, the restaurant donated meals to homeless people in the city. Emma personally supervised the program. One winter night, she found Daniel sitting alone at a table. She placed a bowl of soup in front of him. He smiled. Still feeding people? Emma laughed. Always. Daniel looked at her for a moment. You know, Emma, I lost everything once. She sat across from him. What happened? My business partner stole almost everything I had. My family turned against me. I spent years believing money was the only way to rebuild my life. He looked at the soup. Then a young waitress gave me food without asking what I could give her in return. Emma smiled through tears. And that changed everything? Daniel nodded. It reminded me that wealth isn't measured by what you own. He looked into her eyes. It's measured by what you are willing to give when nobody is watching. Emma looked around the restaurant. Customers were laughing. Employees were serving meals. Outside, several homeless people were being welcomed through the doors. She thought about that rainy night. She remembered how afraid she had been. How humiliated she had felt. And how one small act of kindness had somehow changed 2 lives. Daniel raised his glass. To the woman who fed a stranger. Emma smiled. To the stranger who stood up. They both laughed. And somewhere in the city, the restaurant manager who once believed people were valuable only because of their money was forced to live with the consequences of his cruelty. Because Emma had learned something she would never forget. Kindness doesn't make you weak. Sometimes, kindness is the strongest thing a person can do. And the people you ignore today may be the very people who change your life tomorrow. The moral is simple: never measure a person's worth by their clothes, their money, or their position in society. Treat people with dignity, especially when you have nothing to gain from it. Because true character is revealed not by how we treat the powerful, but by how we treat those who cannot give us anything in return.